It's Saturday, and as you find some relief from the craziness of this last week, today I want to introduce a simple topic to you: desire. So many people think, oh my gosh, Brendan, I've lost my motivation, or I've lost my purpose, or when they look back at their week, they just kind of feel like they went through the motions. They're not satisfied, they're not fulfilled, they're just kind of feeling like, I went through the week and I trudged through another week. It's okay. It all balances out, and there's no question that you still want and desire an extraordinary life. We forget that sometimes. We get disconnected from our own desires, and we focus on the tasks at hand and the obligations and responsibilities we've built up all around us, and we try to please people and meet expectations, and sometimes we lose our own sense of self in that. And so today's topic is about reigniting that desire, that sense of passion and hunger and enthusiasm about where you're going in your life. So today's 4 ideas. Number 1, you never have desire unless you look at it. It's one of those things that everyone finds out when they're dating, when you go out on a date and you see that person you're interested in, like the sparks and the chemistry starts flying all over again. Maybe when you go home, you think about them, but when you see them again, it's a different level of engagement and excitement. Well, sorry to tell you, but if you haven't figured out yet, your goals, your dreams, the same way. Why is it generation after generation of psychologists and personal development teachers and mental health practitioners tell people to create a vision board? Why is it some of the most replicated studies in history of decent practical psychology have shown that if you write your goals down, you're more likely to achieve them? Why is it? Well, we know it. It's common sense that when you look at what you really desire over and over and over again, it grooves into your brain, it reminds you what's important, and it reconnects to that spark again. But like I always say, so many people set that big desire at New Year and they never look at the list again. So maybe this time of year it's good. Like, break out that goal list, open up your plan, write it down, type it in, capture it. What are the goals for the rest of this year? What are you excited about? Look at those goals again. Look at those goals again. Every single day, I look at my goals. Every single day, I do my plan and my planner. Why? Do I need to? Yes. If I want to continue experiencing the vibrancy and the passion of it all, it's easy to forget. Look at how many couples never really look at themselves anymore over dinner. How many people are in rooms and hanging out together, but they're not really there with each other. Presence and attention to the things that matter to us is what enlivens that moment. So important. If you want to recultivate desire, look at the thing. Second, look beyond obligation. Look beyond obligation. If you're in a place where you're like, gosh, I just don't know what I want anymore. Maybe you're in transition. You've transitioned from one career to another. The kids have left the house, or you're just changing a health routine, and you're just in that place of shifting, of uncertainty, of change, of what I call transition. And in those times, there's a little bit of a decompression that happens, a little bit of a moment where you're not sure what you want, and the stress is fading off a little bit from what you used to be, and you're wandering in the wilderness a little bit. You're not sure what you want to do in transition. Or sometimes you're in burnout. You're overwhelmed. You already got a plate full of stuff, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I just don't feel it anymore. Well, sometimes to cultivate the desire is to look out beyond the obligation, the responsibilities, out into the dreams again. Go sit by the ocean and stare into that vastness of it all. Go grab a favorite book and hang out in the park alone under a tree, just reading again. Take a few long walks by yourself without the phone. And just think again. Think about the future again. Don't let your vision be clouded by all the things you have today and the things you don't have and all your current competencies. Instead, just start daydreaming. And don't feel like you have to land on the perfect answer or the complete certainty of all the next steps. Instead, just let your mind wander today, a few days, in meditations ahead, and just allow an open space. Sometimes by opening up our minds beyond what has to happen right now, we start to discover and remember other things, old passions, old dreams, old goals, and sometimes even better yet, something, an intuition, a vision reveals itself to us, and we have a grand new map, a new destination. It's okay to dream again. It's Saturday. You're allowed. Third, if you're really struggling, just remember, follow your interests. Follow what gives you enthusiasm. Follow what makes you feel satisfied at the end of the day after hard effort. Whatever those things are, don't do them once in a while. Go down the rabbit hole. What is that interest? Can you go deeper? Explore it. Think about it again. Revisit it. Do it again next week. I think too many people, they're always chasing the next desire. This thing, that thing, this thing, that thing, this thing, that thing. And they never pursue down the rabbit hole of one interest, one skill, one passion, one hobby, one enthusiasm, or one satisfying project. And that's why they lack that zeal or that desire, because so much of desire, watch out from the personal development guy here telling you, comes from mastery. The great masters tend to have the greatest consistency and motivation and passion for what they're doing. It's showing up for it again and again and again that deepens the desire versus bouncing from one thing to another. Be a person who's on a path of mastery in your life. I promise it feels different. And that leads to the last idea. Don't quit so fast. One of the reasons people jump from desire to desire, hobby to hobby, idea to idea, and never build anything real is because, my goodness, they just can't stick with anything. And they can't stick with anything because they're fearful. What if it doesn't turn out? What if this is all there is? What if I'm not good enough? What if they don't get it and I don't belong? But what I've learned over and over and over again is that people who stick with something just give themselves a few more chances. Stay with it one more week. Try to see beyond the difficulties of the season. Try to stick through it, even though it's a dip right now. Because we live in a world where we think everything has to be this heightened enthusiasm, high caffeinated sugar pop of an experience where everything is perfect and easy. And sometimes the greatest hungers of life emerge when we can sit with the struggle and the challenge and the uncertainty just for a little bit longer. And it's a breakthrough. Why is so much great artistry happen where the great passions, the great writers, the great artists and painters, the great amazing poets, why is there so much passion bleeding from the page, jumping off of the canvas? Why? Because they stuck through the pain and they kept expressing themselves. They kept digging deeper into the uniqueness of who they were and trying to find that authentic thread of life. And by not compromising on that, by staying with it and seeing it through and sticking with that passion a little bit longer, that desire became real art. That desire became real impact. That desire became mastery at levels that most people will never understand. So I'm here to say with you, yeah, it was a long week, but if you were working towards things that you were interested in, that drew enthusiasm from your heart, that felt a little bit fulfilling, even if hard, you're on the right track. If you're at least doing something every day where you're touching the helm of personal development, where you're looking at your goals, looking at yourself, looking at your interactions and responsibilities with the world, you'll start to feel a little bit differently again. You'll remember your intentions and why you're doing it all. If you remember, it's okay to look beyond right now. Your dreams and your destiny are not your current bills, nor your current bank account. It's okay to see something that no one else sees out in the future and start walking towards that. And so I share with you today, my friends, that no matter how the week turned out, it's Saturday. As you go into your journal and smash that weekly growth prompt and fill it out, just find a moment of self-reflection as you look back this last week. Gauge your desire. Was it there? Was it at the levels you want it to be? Could you cultivate it more by maybe something I shared today? Or just open up your journal and jam on some new ideas about how to summon that desire even to another level. That's the beauty. We get to summon the best of us every day. That's the beautiful part of personal development. It's always inviting us to be more intentional, to be okay with who we are and urge ourselves, direct ourselves, try to go to another level next week. That's the beauty of it all. Every day is a great day to grow. All right, if you love this daily fire today, quick reminder, comment on it down below. What did you learn? What do you think? What do you have to share? This is about social learning in Growth Day. We learn from each other. We have that humility to learn from each other, but we also have that service leadership mindset where we want to share our life lessons with one another. So what have you learned about this topic? Put it in the comments down below and then get your growth streak.